Let's talk about GameStop. So I just went and bought what is probably going to be my last piece of physical media for gaming, at least outside of the Switch, just because it's a little bit, harder for like download games and stuff like that. But with my PlayStation and my Xbox, I have solely gone digital. In fact, my Xbox doesn't even have a disc drive on it. And although my PlayStation 5 does have one, the fact of the matter is, it's just a lot more simplistic to go digital. And I understand that there are people out there who love the physical games. And I used to be one of them. I love the steel books. I still have some of those for some of the collector's editions. But I think at the end of the day, the world is going to go digital, right? Between streaming, with movies, VOD, all that kind of stuff, like we're getting into a world where you're not going to have physical media anymore. And I think our consoles are obviously adapting to that. But you know who isn't? GameStop. So GameStop recently threw these posts up on their social media. And they were talking about the price hike with Xbox with the Game Pass. And they were basically saying like, for the cost of one of our games, right? Or whatever. Like, they're talking about the fact that like you're paying more and you don't own the games, but you could come buy our games where you own them. And, as a guy who spent the last 20 years in retail management, I really look at this and I think to myself, like, this is why your business is going under. And GameStop has not done a great job of adapting to the change in the consumer, right? Like they've tried to be able to get into other products like collectibles and figures and pop figures and all that kind of stuff. The GameStop that I went into recently to pick up the Ghost of Yotai, which the only reason why I bought a physical copy of this game is because I went in and sold my physical copies that I had for my PS4, PS3, a few PS5 games, and I was able to earn some additional credit if I put some of that money towards a pre-release or a pre-order. So I went ahead and just used, like the credit to go ahead and pay for the game entirely. So that was I was already paid for and everything, and I didn't have to worry about spending any extra money. But it gave me, kind of, I guess, a moment to collect one last piece of physical media before I completely cut off like physical games. And through that process and seeing what GameStop has kind of posted recently on their social media, like you're gonna fail. And I don't know everything when it comes to retail management. I don't know, all the inner workings of GameStop's business or what their future plans are. So maybe, just maybe, 20 years from now, this video would not aged well and GameStop is, some massive juggernaut in the world of pop culture. But I don't think it's going to be, in large part because I don't think that they're marketing to the right consumer. If you want people to buy physical media, I thought this the other day and I was like, this just makes sense to me. My wife reads a lot of digital books, ebooks. And what I find interesting is that she will read an ebook, and if she really likes it, she will go out and buy the physical copy of that book, because apparently in the world of, book nerds, it's called a book trophy. And she's gotten Christmas gifts from her family of books that she's read before because they are book trophies. If you really want people to come in and buy your games, continue to do like the 4 for $40 sale. I think as of recording this video, they're running right now. Like, yeah, you're going to have to discount that stuff. But if you really want people to come in and buy your games, market to their impulse of trophies. Xbox has their achievements for their Xbox operating system. PlayStation has their trophies, and they even showcase it and let you know what your friends' trophies are and your trophy count. I think you should really dive into the consumer and their urge to be able to have game trophies. I think that would go a long way to be able to start getting people back into your stores to purchase physical copies of the game. Aside from that, however, I think that you are very much out of touch, GameStop, because your post like, although they didn't rub me the wrong way, I wasn't like overthinking it. At the end of the day, Xbox, if they're going to charge me $30 for Xbox Live, I'm okay with that. Now, eventually the price hikes are going to have to stop. Same thing with streaming, like Netflix, Disney Plus. It seems like almost every other week they're hiking up their prices. And at some point it's going to be too much. But at $30, that gives me access to a wide variety of library that Xbox has. And here's the thing. I'm not an Xbox guy. I'm a PlayStation guy. I love my PlayStation. I've been a PlayStation guy from day one. But the only reason why I have Xbox is honestly because of Xbox Live. Because of the amount of games that I have access to. And that, I believe, is significantly better than what PlayStation gives you access to. But with Xbox Live, right now, at this moment, I'm playing Expedition 33 for free with my Xbox Live membership. I didn't have to go out and spend $70 on it. Now, is it an older game? Sure, it's been out for several months. I'm behind on my backlog of video games, so that I get to play it right at the very moment that everyone else did? No, but it doesn't take away my enjoyment of the game. And more importantly, it's included in my membership, so I was able just to download it and start playing for that $30 a month. I went into Gamestop the other day to pick up Ghost of Yotai, and just in preparation of making this video, I looked to see what they had it on sale for pre-owned. And it was $40 for pre-owned. For someone else's used copy of this game, it was still $40. And that was after using my Pro membership. And so, again, you run your marketing department however you want to. That's none of my business. But from a guy who spent so long in retail management, and also from a guy who, like, if you had given me my dream job. So I've worked for some great brands. I was a manager for the Lego company. I was a manager for a little bit, Famous Footwear, whatever. I worked for InMotion Entertainment, which is an electronic company. I was a district manager for Lids, district manager for Rally House. And out of all those jobs, the one place I would have loved to work that I actually applied several times for. So, like, transparency. I'm not just, like, shitting on GameStop because, like, oh, they never hired me. I applied several times to work at GameStop because I'm a gamer. I love video games. Like, and I especially 15 years ago, would have loved to have worked for GameStop when they were in their heyday. They're not anymore, right? And you got to adapt. You got to change. And, me going in, buying my last piece of physical media was really in essence because I got it for free because I sold my games. And it was games that I didn't feel like going through eBay. I took my more expensive games, sold them through eBay. The rest of them that were just, regular old common games, I just took them to GameStop. And you did give me a pretty good price on them. I'm not going to lie. I was appreciative of that. I'm throwing that in this video as well. But I think that, at the end of the day, your business model isn't working. And I think that when you post social media posts like the ones that we showed earlier, I think it just shows how out of touch you are with gamers. But maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe you're watching this video and you're like, no, fuck all the price hikes. We love GameStop. And I used to love GameStop too. We love GameStop. We're a huge supporter. We still go buy physical media games. That's fantastic. But every time I see videos, and I know my algorithm's probably different than other people, but every time I see videos of people shopping at GameStop, it's so that they can find things to buy cheap and resell. So I think there's a world where people are still buying physical media. I just think you're scraping, trying to reach the bottom of the barrel, and it's just not working. So, that's my 2 cents. But let me know in the comments. Do you love GameStop? Do you still shop at GameStop? Have you gone completely digital with your video game library? I would love to continue the conversation in the comments. Let me know.